Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Monday, June 15th, 2026. Let's take a look at the charts. I always like to start with the big picture. It does present sort of the underlying flow or the underlying directional framework of the market. These are where the big moves occur. These are the moves that you don't want to really act against unless it's very short term. Typically, you want to play with these moves. In other words, the settlement several months ago, what was that, earlier in the year actually, below this channel bottom at 453.96 indicated its longer term sister formation at 359.33. We tested it 8 weeks later, and that met the objective. At that time, we mentioned to reverse and go long because from here we can round up to the channel bottom again. And that is what happened a couple of months later. And since then, we've fallen away. Now, we fell away, and there was a sell signal on the way down. We just don't have room to show. It was a rising channel bottom. But we did last week test our initial objective, and that was in the upper 370s, low 380s. 378.03 is still a descending channel bottom. 381.61 is a 5/8 downside Fibonacci from that early April low against the May high. And so it is still a valid zone if we were to test it. Still an area to go long. We'd mentioned if you're a 2 to 3 week swing trader, this is an area to go long over that time frame. It's a day tradable level, a 3 to 5 day swing trade level. And in fact, we're in the midst of that 3 to 5 day swing trade. We mentioned that bottom picking the upper 370s, low 380s. You can anticipate this descending channel top at 411.09, which is probably going to be tested today, Monday. So this is your 3 to 5 day swing trade, but just keep in mind that your 2 to 3 week swing trade will keep the mid 440s and coming down every week. Let me jump to that real quick. That is a weekly. Do I even show it on the weekly chart? The daily chart shows it at 442.38. The same formation on the weekly chart. Here we go at 444.62. So we see this now as a 2 to 3 week possibility. Possibility turns into probability if we close today above 411.09. Okay. Until then, this is an intra-week pivot point that can top out for Monday and perhaps fall back into the 378.03 to 381.61 region within 3 to 5 days. Still a 3 to 5 day swing trade dynamic. If we close above 411.09, that 2 to 3 week possibility we mentioned at 440.62, 444.62 becomes a, I'm going to say by the end of next week, likelihood. And in fact, with a spike, not even a spike in volatility, if you carry on the volatility we've had for the last week, closing today above 411.09, certainly by Friday's close, we could see a 444.62. That channel top that contained buying pressures about a month and a half ago can continue to contain buying pressures, through the month of July. And we could continue filling this wedge out for the next couple of months, as I've been saying now for the last month or so. If we were in the coming weeks to close above 444.62, then we have a real buy signal through the third quarter into the fourth, the following 3 to 5 months or sooner, likely to reach the 540s. This is, believe it or not, a 6-year rising channel top that we don't really show properly, but we would if it came to that. And it is an area that can contain annual buying pressures, but not expecting the 540s unless we close above the 440s. Now, I've been saying that following a testing of this long-term 1-year channel bottom a couple of months ago, that we could see the 540s by the end of the year. And if we close above 444.62, we should test the 440s by the end of the year. That is all big picture stuff. Let's get back to kind of the day itself. Closing above 411.09. There is this channel top at 433.92. Now, I want to say a couple things about it because I don't want to muddle the view, okay? That this channel top is a descending flag at the top of a move. It has its own pivot point qualities longer term. We went back and forth, my son and I, as we discussed this, and he helps with the Tesla analysis a lot. And so the question was, should we honor a buy signal above 433.92 that is longer term in scope? Or should we play it a little safer with wait for the settlement above 444.62? And we erred on the weekly chart at 444.62. But let me get back to this, that if we close above 411.09, I mentioned within 3 to 5 days we could see 444.62. Let me amend that and say that within 3 to 5 days, 433.92. Now, there's a couple of ways to play this range. You could consider at the beginning of a zone, 433.92 up to 444.62, where a short play could be made. As we move through July, we could fall away again, back into the 370s, 380s, possibly all the way back into the upper 350s, as I've already shown within a couple of months of doing so. You could also sell 433.92 as a 2 to 3 week swing trade where we could fall away from here. You could then you cover that short position with a settlement above 433.92, and you reverse and you go aggressively long on a 2 to 3 week basis with a settlement above 444.62. There is no correct way to do this. It comes down to your trading style, your risk management, etc., etc. So we're just going to keep it simple. And that is to say, we are comfortable playing the aggressive long position with a weekly settlement above 444.62, then expecting 498.83 within about 3 to 5 weeks, and the 540s within 3 to 5 months or sooner. We're no longer too near that scenario right now, but we could be talking a lot about this area if we close today above 411.09. Once again, 444.62 attainable, but then we still have this channel top at 433.92 to reckon with. So I'm going to say, once again, closing above 411.09, your 3 to 5 day swing trade shifts to the upside. 433.92 is likely. Now, if you bottom pick last week, this upper 370s, low 380s, anticipating 444.62 as your objective, bravo. If you're still long, if we close above 411.09, sigh of relief. But I want to just mention this 433.92 is an area where you might trim some of that long position, because this could potentially win the day, so to speak, as we move through the rest of June. This is a range of resistance below which this market can quite easily collapse back into the 350s, 360s within a couple of months. And if settled above 444.62, we are off to the races.
If you're finding value in this analysis, it's only a glimpse of what we offer. Your real trading edge starts at wickedstocks.com. Each week, premium members receive 2 high-probability stock picks. Each one comes with a complete trade plan, including exact entry, profit target, stop loss, and regular updates so you can manage the trade with confidence. You'll also get daily video analysis in the top traded markets, the SPY, the Triple Q, and NVDA, highlighting the key price levels, trends, and trade setups we're focused on. Whether you're day trading or swing trading, these insights help you zero in on the highest quality opportunities with clarity.
Start your 2-week free trial and trade with clarity from day one.
Anticipating then a retest of the December high of 498.83 within 3 to 5 weeks, and once again the 540s within 3 to 5 months. And that is everything. Let me say one more thing, because I know a lot of you are day traders, and I apologize for not talking about 397.09. It is the high of the low from last week. It can contain intraday selling pressures, and above which 411.09 is likely. If we close today below 397.09, especially after testing 411.09, and you play the short side down into the low 380s, closing today below 397.09 should actually yield a retest of this upper 370s, low 380s within just a day or two, where we can bottom out, as I've said, for the week, and from here round up into the 430s, 440s. We seem to be on our way to doing that now as it is. But if we close over the next few days below 378.03, you can expect a retest of this 359.33 within a matter of days, where we could bottom out through July, through the third quarter, and possibly once again through the rest of the year. That is all I've got for Tuesdays. Sorry, this isn't Tuesday. It's Monday's Daily Tesla Report. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. If you're looking for your NVIDIA, Triple Q, SPY analysis on a day-by-day basis, you can find it at wickedstocks.com. You also get weekly Apple stock, S&P 500, NASDAQ. Well, I could go on and on and on. Go to wickedstocks.com and take advantage of that 2-week free trial. Be back tomorrow, of course, with Tuesday's Tesla. And you have a great day.